Welcome to another episode on our channel. I just wanted to show you the box I got, which had a couple pieces of paper at the top covering the box, on top of the box, or the art box here. And then it had a couple pieces of paper in here to provide some protection. And I think they tried to round it around the corners to try to protect it. But that doesn't do, I guess, enough of a good job if you get a horrible ding on the side. And there are tiny dings on the sides, but that's kind of a horrible one. Fortunately, though, it only produced a tiny ding. But it does bring me to a topic that's somewhat frustrating, is that they can't create a box that will withstand pressure and or being moved around and so forth. It's a shame they can't produce that, because part of collecting has been traditionally the box. But maybe I'm thinking radically here, but I'm kind of thinking we don't need boxes anymore because they tend to get damaged. I know it does add some value to the item itself, but boxes were primarily made when people went face-to-face shopping to places that had items to be purchased. Like if you think of a grocery store, the cereal boxes would be very colorful and try to grab your attention. I remember getting one box of cereal primarily because it had Barry Sanders on it. So that's walking down an aisle looking at items and things competing for your attention. The same item is competing for you, whether it's corn or cereal or what have you. It's competing for your attention. Sometimes the box or the can is what's going to grab your attention and get that sale. Most of the time it's the price too. So that brings me back to boxes like this. If we can't create indestructible boxes, then maybe we need to just put items in plain boxes and forget about the value of the box. Just worry about the value of the item. And that could help us as collectors save money, because, imagine every time you create a new figure, there's new artwork, new box has to be made that runs up the cost of the item. If it's in a plain box that has no, value attached to it, then if it does get dinged or messed up, we're not bent out of shape. No pun intended. We're not bent out of shape because of that. And if it saves us money in the long run, I think we're even in a better place. Another way to keep costs down is to just have a few accessories versus a ton of accessories. Because I think today we're kind of at a pivotal point in terms of collecting, because the prices are so out there now, pretty heavy prices, that we have to be really selective with what we choose to get. And that's frustrating to be in that position of being so selective that maybe you only get a few items every year. And I think toy companies are starting to understand this more so than ever. If you go to Sideshow right now, you'll see a ton of things on sale. And the interesting thing is that they're trying to move items that have been in stock for 3-4 years. So I've been purchasing some sales through Sideshow, amazingly. And then you look on eBay and you look at 1/6 scale and you look at ending soonest, and you'll see a ton of things on that first page, ending soonest. No bids are on the item, or accessories, or the head sculptor. No bids are on the item. And I look at the prices and I'm saying, I'm not even though nobody has bid on it, I'm not going to pay that much for that item. So I think we're at a point where financially it's getting really hard to stay up with 1/6 scale collecting. But I did find this figure. I did like it. It's a Chindit. So this is a soldier from England. They were part of what is it called, long range penetration groups that fought in Burma, now known as Myanmar. And so this was during World War II. And I saw this soldier recently. I said, he looks really cool. He'll be good when my World War II set. So I decided to go ahead and get him. He kind of looks like an Aussie, but apparently it was a duo venture between England and India that made up these units to fight in Burma during World War II. Myanmar, formerly Burma. This is where these soldiers fought. So we'll pause now and see what we have in the box. We are back, and having said everything I said about boxes, I do think this is a cool looking art box, and the uniform on this guy, I just thought it looked cool. Kind of an Aussie-like hat. It just, I'm sure it didn't provide adequate protection to the head, but in hot weather, it may have been easier to have maneuvered around the place. But anyway, it is a box that is magnetic. So it's not a shoebox per se, it's just one of those that opens up. And on the inside, I guess, is a diorama that you could put the soldier next to. So that's really thinking on their end. It does come in foam. And I find that a lot of the non-branded or unbranded figures come in foam instead of the clamshells, which I prefer, actually. I just hate having so much plastic. But anyway, so let's get them out. And here he is. He doesn't have his gaiters on yet. This is just his regular uniform. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised. We got a machete and a sheath for the machete. So that's pretty cool. I probably won't be getting another UJINDOU figure again. This was made in 2022. And that's because overall, this figure just doesn't speak to me the way I thought it would. I mean, it really looked cool on the box. And then you get it and you start to see where they kind of went wrong or fell short in terms of making this figure. Let me just go item by item and tell you what they did well and what they didn't do well. The boots are very nice looking. They have strings, actual strings to tie the boots together. So that's a quality set of boots. The gaiters are nice. With these pants, they're very nice because they kind of obviously give you this kind of look, and that's an awesome look, actually. So the boots, the gaiters, the pants, the shirt underneath the sweater is great. The sweater itself is wonderful. And the patches that you put on the sleeves are great as well. The Enfield rifle is pretty decent. The sheath and the bayonet are, nothing wrong with that. The machete is a big problem. The machete has a wonderful looking weathered handle, but the metal piece is very thin plastic. It's not weathered at all. It just really looks plastic. And the bad thing is it's thin, but it's wide. So the sheath, the top of the sheath, where the machete is supposed to go in, you can't get the machete in. At the end of the machete, it's too wide to go into the top of the sheath. So the only way to get the machete in is to take some of the edging down with the machete itself. And then you get it in, it's going to be a tight fit. So you're basically never going to take it out. The pouches in the front have foam in it. That's not a problem, but it's really not latched in. It's just held in by gravity. So that's kind of a problem. They made a backpack and the blanket that you fold up to put into it, very thin material, but it looks fine. There's another pouch underneath the backpack that looks good. There's this with Asian script on it, this bag that you can put on him, but there's no way to put it on him, so to speak. They didn't have any directions. Let's just put it out. There are no directions in here on how to put this guy together. So I basically used Velcro to attach it to the belt because there didn't seem to be any other way to attach it to the belt. With the machete sheath that should have had an opening to put the belt through, that thing was glued together. I initially thought maybe I could pry it apart with the X-Acto knife, but no, I opted to go the least destructive, use some Velcro again to attach it to the belt. So there's some glaring problems with the making of this figure, at least the hat, the sheath for the machete, and the machete itself, glaring problems. So you basically have to kind of, figure it all out and make some adjustments, which you're not used to doing when you buy something that's already prepackaged. You shouldn't have to make adjustments this way. But it still is a cool looking figure. We are back and let's go around. You see the 2 pouches in front. You see the Enfield rifle, the wonderful outfit, the hat. Not so good. Wonderful gaiters and boots. And now you're going to start to see this bag, whether it carried food or something else, I'm not sure, but it has some Asian script on it. And of course, the backpack with the blanket folded up underneath it. And then another big pouch back here. Everything is padded. That part is good too. The canteen, which is very much British. And then coming into view is now the machete in the sheath, which we had to sand down so we could literally get it into the sheath. I mean, you could visibly see that part, the lower part of the machete was too wide for the upper part, the upper opening of the sheath. You could literally see it wouldn't fit. And you just hoped it would go in. It didn't. So there you go. So what we'll do now is get some tighter close-ups so you can see more details. You can see a lot more details now. It is kind of cool that it has this kind of padding on the sweater, but that hat, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit him nicely. I had to loosen the strap all the way out just to get it to fit on the head. And that was kind of touch and go at first. I wasn't sure it was even going to fit on the head. I don't know, it just doesn't seem, I mean, it should be the thing that stands out the most to you, that hat, and in a positive sort of way. And for me, it just falls short. So anyway, I think we'll stop here and get some tighter close-ups of the face. You can see the hat clearly now. It's made, I don't know, it's just floppy. It's thin. It doesn't hold its shape or anything like that. That's why I had to stuff a little paper towel into the top of the hat to give it more shape and substance. But it just doesn't seem to fit. Even though it's a snug fit on the head, it looks bigger than it should, from my perspective. I actually literally had to put a little cotton in his shoulders to kind of give him a little more robust look, uh, to kind of mimic what I saw in the picture of him. But let's just go side to side so you can see this hat a bit better. You can see the patches better. It says Chindit. And then over on this side, has droopy in places. Yeah, I'm definitely not impressed with the hat. So there you go. Here's one last look at an English soldier from World War II known as Chindit. I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.